Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Shout out to the whole chat on the way in. What's today? Wednesday. Happy Wednesday morning, everybody. Everybody. Middle of the week. Well, middle of the work week for many of us. You know what I'm saying? Many of us on our grind and all that. Some on the way into the office. Some getting home from work. Some just waking up and all that. Everybody, welcome. Appreciate y'all. Once again, shout out to the chat. Shout out to the members. Shout out to the mods. Everybody waking up and rolling in. Shout out to the whole checks and balances, by the way. Y'all see the title. Is Eazy wrong for the way he is handling the Cassidy battle? So I got some updates. I got some reaction video to do as well. I have a topic to spin off of it, and I have an even separate battle rap topic that's going to coincide. Well, actually, I don't know if it's really going to be related. It's going to be unrelated, but we're going to talk some shit. I'm going to ask some questions about applying pressure. You also see Chilla Jones in the thumbnail. I could have put the words TBL there. You know, I could have put Kenny there or whatever, but Chilla Jones is the face that a lot of the battle rap culture knows, which is why I put Chilla Jones in the thumbnail. Okay, so shout out to Chilla, but shout out to the whole TBL. But we got some other stuff that we're gonna walk through first. We got a bunch of crime, little crime segment. Do I have anything else between crime and battle rap today? Nah. Oh, this is gonna be an easy one, but it's gonna be fun though. Okay. Shout out to everybody on the way in. Let's start to walk. Let's go up first. We got K Flock. We got K Flock. Wow. Wow. K Flock sentenced to 25 years in prison for gang RICO case says, I found God. Now, K Flock, I believe he's like 21, 22 years old, something like that, right? So you got 25. Even if you get some early release, get paroled early. I don't know. Were there any parole stipulations, eligibility that he got? I don't know if it's going to be here in the post or in the paperwork or anything like that. But let's say hypothetically, he may not reach back home until he's in his 40s. Okay. Is that considered ruining your life? For me, yes. Throwing your life away. Your 20s, well, your teens, of course, that's where the fun starts. Right? Your 20s is when you become an adult. You know, you begin to be able to make your own rules. You get to move about as you choose to. When you're a teenager, if you're still living in your parents' house, I did when I was a teenager, you're still under their rule, man. But you got your own key to your own door, hopefully, if you don't moved out. By the time you become a young man or a young woman, you know, you start to see the world in a different light. You're in your 20s. Some people remain in the streets and gang banging in their 20s, like K Flock did. And then your 30s is a beautiful time. Your 40s, and then you miss this core piece of your life. This is absolutely throwing your life away. But the streets are the streets. You know, this is nothing new. Let's read actually how it played out for him when he was talking to the judge at sentencing. So, Judge Lehman, I have no questions, Mr. Perez. You are not required to address the court, but now would be the time if you wish. K Flock says, yes, sir. Uh, what I was at 18 is not what I am today. I feel like this is time of my journey, rising me up as a man. Okay. K Flock then says, I grew up in a rough place. I began to support my family at 12. I was just a kid. I didn't really know better. I found God. I feel like sometimes you got to go through the darkness to find the light, to find life. That's very true. That is very, 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 very true. I could have been dead. That's all I've got to say. Judge Lehman says, Mr. Perez, I hold you responsible for, oh shit, did it go straight to that? This is the next tweet from Inner City Press. Did he go straight to that after K Flock said, I found God and I'm really trying to change? Did he just go to that? Wow. All right. Hold you responsible for 4 shootings, 7 victims. You are lucky no one was killed in those instances. I am not considering the incident when you shot and killed a victim. These crimes are part of a pattern that would have continued. Let's stop right there for a second. I saw a reaction video from Aiden Ross, and he sees the news that K Flock was handed down to 25 years, and he goes, 25 years, but it was self-defense. And I'm a big believer that you shouldn't serve jail time if you are legitimately, in a situation that involves self-defense, right? And even self-defense in court can be very, very subjective. We see it go left for a lot of people, and that's fucked up, right? But nobody looks at K Flock like that, okay? That's not a situation where K Flock is, and I'm saying this respectfully, but I'm just being honest. It's not a situation where K Flock is in the mall doing some Christmas shopping for his kids, minding his business, and somebody runs up on him and says, "Hey, K Flock, I hate your albums," and starts assaulting him and threatens him, and then he protects himself. This ain't that. Okay, this is his lifestyle while he was walking down the street with what, his sister or sister-in-law, and then that guy came out the barber shop. They encountered each other. Allegedly, he had a gun on him, I think they said, came out in trial. And then, K Flock allegedly drew and was able to fire first, and he took the man's life. You know what I'm saying? So he did kill somebody. He did kill somebody. And we could say that person may have been in a situation where he was going to kill K Flock. But how do you get there? How do you just walk down the street and somebody wants to come out the barbershop and press you? Right? It's what's going on. That's why K Flock was even dressed the way that he was dressed, moving the way that he was moving, walking down the street with a gun, holding all that. It's all in his music. It's all in what he's promoted. I say all the time, if I'm going to be a believer in some of these rappers, if you're going to make me believe that you actually live your lyrics, I'm not going to look at you different when you get to court. I do believe Lil Durk is all about that shit that he raps. I believe him. I believe him. So don't try to get me once you leave the booth, now that you're in handcuffs or in prison, to believe that it was all fake. I believe K Flock. I believe him. All right. So it's the lifestyle that brought about that situation, even though he may have drew his gun to defend himself. Okay. So we got to go to the initial root cause. All right, let's continue. Let me go back on the bigger screen for y'all. My bad. Judge Lehman, I have no doubt you encouraged others to engage in violence. That's what the evidence at trial showed. You taunted, you celebrated, you helped to create the culture of violence, a climate of fear. You triggered retaliation. And remind you, people right up above, right? The judge says to him, how many people? I hold you responsible for 4 shootings, 7 victims. Okay. I mean, this is the realities when the sentencing comes down. We got to be real about this shit because we all want to avoid it, right? We can't sugarcoat this shit. Stop putting these fucking rappers like Aiden Russell. Stop putting capes on these motherfuckers and making them superheroes. They're not. Some of these niggas is not superheroes. Some of these niggas you do not want your children interacting with. You do not want your children following. You do not want your children to look up to. That's the reality. Like a K Flock is to be considered a detriment to the community. I'm lying now. I'm wrong for these young niggas that's tearing the streets up, shooting at each other, getting on these videos, influencing other people, retaliating on each other, spitting all these blocks, rapping about it, pushing this drill culture and all that. And I do consume the music. I don't want to. You got me there. You got me there. Sorry, it's true. But we're supposed to now turn around and say no. But these are our heroes because they rap. You motherfuckers better learn how to separate your entertainment from who actually is of a quality human being in front of your fucking eyes. And I don't give that to K Flock. I don't. And it's not personal. It's not personal. It's the energy that I feel like I'm responsible for actually putting out because it's the hard things that people just don't want to say. It's our responsibility. The people that have survived long enough to give back positivity, it's our responsibility to remind people like, okay, we love the music. Yeah. Shoot them up, kill them, trap shit. I come from battle rap, right? I get it. But when it all goes down, or when we see a detriment like this to society, or we see the shootings and the killings, we should only endorse but so much. Where were you then when they were rapping and shit? Well, once again, are you presenting music to me? Because I ain't promoting y'all in the streets. I'm promoting the music. It's the separations. But a lot of these young kids can't do that. Hence, they're gonna reenact and follow some of this shit. All right. You encourage people to join gangs. The judge is saying everything I'm saying. You encourage people to join gangs. Your life was ruined by gang activity. But you encourage others to join. You will not be punished for murder. But this requires just about the most serious punishment the court can impose. Judge Lehman says gang sentences must send a message. There are many young people in the city. He's saying the same shit I'm saying. There are many young people in the city like you, recruited by gangs. They must be shown there are costs. The facts indicate you need to be incapacitated. You've shown no remorse. You had a right to a trial. Okay. Was K Flock in there stone faced? Did he act and carry himself like fuck it, it is what it is? I don't know. I didn't see the cameras, but that's almost what the judge is implying there, right? Judge Lehman, I haven't heard you express sympathy for the victims of the shootings. You shot the bullet that killed an innocent man, though you were not found guilty of murder. You have not grasped what you have done. That piece right there is something like Diddy's team is going after. It's like you're using that as sentencing, but I wasn't convicted in that. So you didn't convict me of murder. I'm just being fair now. You didn't convict me of murder, but sentencing telling me that because a life was taken, you know, that's a little sketchy for a judge to say. But at the same time, judges feel personal or they feel like they want to send messages, like he's saying here. And this is that. You may have escaped this, but no. It's like the OJ shit, right? A lot of people feel like he took that woman's life, and the boyfriend too, right? Like that OJ is a murderer, right? But they didn't get him for that, so they got him later on. Same thing with R. Kelly. Oh, what'd you do? Steal some of your own property back? No problem. We want to give you 50 years for that. And so yeah, you beat the murder. Based on the evidence and the footage and everything and how it played out at trial, but they still got you for 7 other victims and 4 shootings. Judge Lehman, hence once again Rico. Judge Lehman, there's the jury verdict that you are a dangerous man. You've engaged in violence from 11 to 22. It's sad and tragic. You are a danger to the community, but you're also a young man, creative. You'll have opportunities when you get out. Oh shit. Um the influence that you have when people also look at you as a leader, you got the influence then of your social media, you got the influence of your music. Even if, let's say you have one shooting, one incident under your belt and it was self-defense. It's all the other pieces though that they're going to be looking at you like your influence, the power that you have. People in these positions of power get stripped out a lot, right? Shit, ask the Black Panthers, ask some of our political leaders, right? Sometimes you're targeted just because of your influence. Wow. 300 months is the sentence, 25 years. That, sir, is K Flock. It is what it is. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. I don't want to say anything that's gonna come off the wrong way. I'm really just trying to keep it positive. You dig? All right, Lil Durk. Lil Durk, quick update with this one. Lil Durk's motion to dismiss the case and disqualify the prosecution has officially been denied. He will remain behind bars. Okay, this was the actual filing to his docket yesterday. United States District Court, Central District of California, criminal minutes general, proceedings in chamber ordered on October 6, 2025. Defendant Dirk Bakes filed a motion to dismiss and disqualify based on unlawful designation of Bilal A, whatever that last name is, as U.S. attorney motion to disqualify. Meanwhile, on October 28, 2025, the court denied similar motions to disqualify in United States versus Ramirez. These are all examples that's painted out there for the rest of that paragraph, it seems. On November 3rd, 2025, the court gave defendant Banks the opportunity to file an opposition, I'm sorry, is that oppositional? Yeah, oppositional statement indicating why the court should not deny the motion to disqualify for the same reasons given in Ramirez. Example, it's another reference that they use there. Now that the court has decided a motion for reconsideration in Ramirez, the court denies defendant Banks' motion to disqualify. That is given Ramirez. There is no reason to dismiss Banks' indictment, and Mr. whoever that is that a prosecutor? May continue to supervise Banks, or an attorney may continue to supervise Banks' prosecution. Oh, no, it is on the prosecution side in his role as special attorney and the first assistant United States attorney for the Central District. So loss around the board. I told y'all my thoughts on him getting the shit tossed. I was just like, that's a long shot, but some of that which coincides with the loss to me is them prying into trying to get some of the identities of the witnesses. And shout out to the supers coming in. I got y'all. So I always thought that was a long shot, but hey, the lawyers is probably getting paid a pretty penny. Do your lawyering, do your job, try to work every angle that you can for me. You're not going to get bail. You're not going to get the case thrown out. You're not going to get the jury to remain anonymous. I'm sorry, to actually reveal their identities. They're going to remain anonymous, so to speak. And all these roadblocks. This to me is a much bigger, I would say, reputation than even a K Flock. Okay. We talked about when we was in the K Flock joint, your influence. You multiply K Flock shit by like 100 and you have Lil Durk to me, because he's a national, you could say maybe worldly, but he's a national celebrity. K Flock still under the radar. Did he sell any albums? Is he really crazy like that? Did he make it to a high level success or anything like that? He was on his way, notoriety, views, and all that type of stuff, clout, and all that. That's one thing. Okay, a lot of people can get internet famous and get clout. There's a lot of people that even got hit singles and they're gone, right? But Lil Durk is a whole different ballgame. This is a star. There's a bona fide star. And you're talking about his money, hence his influence alleged being put to work, murder for hire. All right. And then you got all this other stuff around you, OTF and these other ex-cons and alleged murders and shooters, so this is much bigger than, you guys up in the Bronx drilling on each other over music or some shit like that. This is looked at like, man, you hopped on some flights allegedly and you even pulled up in a whole different state. That's power, that's influence, that's a way deeper plot. And so he was never going to get bailed to me, and he wasn't going to get this dismissed. He's going to have to go through trial, and this is just going to play out. I think it's going to play out. So it's not looking good on the way in. He's hitting all these walls for a reason. His co-defendants aren't looking too good either. But when the trial starts, we'll get into all the deeper weeds about it. But that's just an update. All right. And I don't think anybody's shocked by that news. Real brief. I'll skip over this one real fast. This one shouldn't shock anybody either. We haven't spoke about Big U in a while, but this is going to be another one where the trial starts. We're going to have a lot to break down and a lot to discuss. But alleged South LA gang leader Big U is reportedly facing up to 600 years according to court documents. And there go the court documents. This was filed. Oh wow, why does this particular document says what's this, April? Is this just being broken down now across the internet? Because this is all going across now. Maybe. But either way, it's Big U, people. This has some similarities to the Little Durk situation where there's something personal in the air, like the whole Slide for Vaughn thing, and then Young Pab's life being taken in Beverly Hills, right? That's allegedly a personal thing. And then you also have the leadership and the influence, okay? Lil Durk painted as this leader of OTF and he could push buttons. Big U painted as this leader of the neighborhood Crips and he could push buttons, but also has this personal allegations and stuff around him as well. There's a murder in his paperwork. No, we looked over all of that. So very, very similar. Him facing 600 years. I mean, why should that shock us? If they would have just turned around and said from all the charges that Big U got, he's facing life, nobody would be shocked. Remember when we did that long read of his initial indictment, people? He's fighting a lot of shit. And I wonder if he still represents himself. Remember that? It was like he's choosing to be like his own lawyer and everything. I was like, dude, did you see your charges? You sure? You might know the streets, but I don't know if you know this court game at that level, dude, because he's facing, I think, the murder, the extortion. He's got a lot of tax stuff, right? He's got some money stuff on him too. So that's a whole nother thing. That's like a season 3, season 4 wire-ish type shit. Like follow the money all the way up to these corporate offices and shit. Is it illegal funds or is it funds that were legal yet used illegally? Like that should get heavy. Them white collar crimes and all that shit, boy. They get football numbers for that too. You know what I'm saying? So they got a lot hanging over Big U. But to see the 600 start hitting the internet, we're not shocked. Okay. All right, we're still going with the world of crime for a second. We're still in the crime world. Max B's ex and co-defendant. She's got some more clips coming out of her Vlad interview. Vlad's a motherfucker. I seen Vlad got a post up that says his next interview that drops is gonna have Diddy hating him for the rest of his life. Like, who would that be? It ain't gonna be Sean. We didn't heard from Sean already. Who would it be? Who would be like, oh my God, you got this person up there? Would he interview Cassie? Hold on. Before we start this Max B shit. Could Vlad get Cassie? It wouldn't be about the bad, but then again, she's facing $20+ million lawsuit from that Clayton dude, right? Like, she wouldn't be going for the bag. It could be tactical if Cassie was doing interviews, because we see how the court of public opinion comes into the actual trials. So she's got a bunch of fights that she's getting into right now too. Would she hop on Vlad? Who else? It wouldn't be one of his sons or his kids. I think they would all stay loyal to him. We saw them all at trial. Who would it be other than Cassie? That he's talking about, he about to break the internet with. But all right, anyway. So going back to Max B's ex-girlfriend that he was able to grab immediately as soon as Max B came home. This is some of the shit that he's saying. Look at the caption. Max B female co-defendant says Max B told on her.
Well, I was going to Sin City actually because I wanted to meet Max there because I needed some money. And he, you know, he knew I was coming there, and it was said that, he helped the police catch me. That's what one of the detectives said. And on the stand, I felt confused. I felt betrayed. I just didn't want to believe it because, that's at the time. I thought he was the man I was in love with. I just felt betrayed because, that's not a situation again that I would normally be in. Well, I was going to Sin City actually because I wanted to meet Max there because I needed some money. And he knew I was coming there, and it was said that, he helped the police catch me. That's what one of the detectives said. And on the stand, I felt.
All right. I think that Max B is gonna really survive all the telling allegations. I think this guy Pooh Sims, that's locked up right now, the person that's serving time for actually pulling the trigger in the scenario in that hotel, he took his best shot. This alleged paperwork that he put out, there was typos in it. It didn't hit, didn't really catch on. Here goes the ex-girlfriend. It's already been showed on a lot of platforms that she was telling. She did a lot of cooperating. So here she is with the whole thing that I think people continue to show. Max B provided information allegedly to show or to tell the detectives where she worked or where she lived. All right. Let's remove Max B for a second. Let's just answer the question. Would that be considered telling? Yes, it would. Yes, it would. Okay. You're not supposed to be speaking on your co-defendants or anything. You're not supposed to be speaking, period. Right. If you do and you're trying to take your shot at a spin, hell, that's what I did. If you're trying to take your shot at a spin, you better not implicate, and you better not speak on any real people, speak on any real names, real situations. Just make up some shit, falsify some shit then, right? If you want to try to spin. Hey, ARP, what do you know about your best friend that shot up the tour bus in New Orleans? That wasn't my best friend. That was this guy named Terry. Who's Terry? Never heard you say the name before. Never seen him on your Instagram. Never seen him with you at any of your shows or whatever. Who's Terry? Oh, Terry. Terry only flew in from Europe to hang out with me this one weekend, and we knew each other in college. He flew in. We hung out. You know what I'm saying? He was in town for business. He hit me up. I took him to a club, and then that's it. That's the last time I ever seen him. So when's the last time you seen him before then? 50 years ago in college. Make some shit up. There goes your fucking spin. I don't know. But if you're gonna be there and you're gonna say who, my ex-girlfriend, you want her address? Here it is. You want to know where she works? It's I don't know, or I'm not sure. Here's a spin for that. If you want to answer that at all, and once again, you start to get into some territories where you make these mistakes and these interrogations are designed to trip you up, right? You get into a space where you can try, like, where does she live? She's moved around so much. I'm really not sure. Well, what's the last known address that you know about? Damn, like I'm so bad with addresses and direction. I have a poor sense of direction. I use navigation in my own neighborhood. I don't know. Well, was it on the south side? Was it on the west side? I think it was the north side. You know, that did try that. You know what I mean? But the accurate information, while there's an open investigation, should always be considered snitching. Okay, that's why the mafia came up with omerta. Just don't say shit. You're gonna make a mistake. Um, People will still, I believe, uphold Max B. Like they already knew this information. You see people use that a lot in this era. You tell them something they already know. King Yella did that. Yeah, sure. They had me there and they asked me if 600 Breezy was a whole gang member. I'm telling them what he already raps about. Like, but you're in the box though. Like, it's different. You know, it's y'all codes, it's y'all rules. I'm just talking about them. It's y'all rules. It ain't mine. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, it would be. Um, she doesn't come off that credible though. The way she was talking, obviously, is a little. I don't know. I don't know. And then with her being such a cooperant, you got people that come out and talk shit. Either way, that's not gonna be what tears Max B down. Okay, so if this is the last shot that he's gonna take about his sturdiness, then it's over. And let's move on. All right, another one. Damn, we still in crime. We still in crime. Queso's Pops has another clip that's come out. So he's on a run. I don't believe he has much money to his name at all. I think he's very broke. If he had $5,000 in his bank account, I would be super duper shocked. Okay, I think he's broke, and I think he is on an interview tour, and these are all bags that he's collecting. He did Vlad. I think I saw him do like two other, and a bunch of them I think is even wearing the same outfit, right? But he's talking, and the more that he talks, the more he's going to stir the pot as if it wasn't already boiling over, right? With somebody in his position.
Understand is before I went to federal prison, I had about 6 Jacksonville sheriff officers on the payroll, dirty cops.
I heard. Yeah, I was going to get to that.
So they think we're going to use me and you. You come cop a key from me. You pull off and go that way and you get pulled over. Police run this line on you. Take this. I'm going to take this. I'm going to keep this, or I could take you to jail for it. What you going to say?
Keep take.
Police bring that back to me.
You.
So now the street.
You made your money and you got your work back.
Right. So now the streets claiming that that's me setting people up. But that was my shady dealings.
If you don't mind telling me, how much are you paying these police at the height of your career?
Man, I was getting them dudes at one time like $4,000-$5,000 a week. And if they give me some information, I did a lot of shady business with them, and even then I had traps on down there every side of town at one time. They don't understand is before I went to
I think when Queso's brother came out and spoke against his interviews, he mentioned that he had the NSG chain on or medallion on there, right? NSG, I believe, stands for never stop grinding. Put it in the chat if I'm off there, people. And I think the NSG stuff is related to ATK. Some people would say that stands for Ace's Top Killers, or whatever acronym, whatever that stands for, allegedly. But you even doing an interview with that chain is like, man, you bold. You bold as shit. Well, once again, I believe you need the bag, and you're taking the bag, and people's got that pretense like I'm going to ask you certain questions. That's the content that I need for this type of bag or, for this type of transaction. It is what it is. But how ironic that he describes himself with some of the street background that he has. And the whole thing of cops dealings, as like almost makes you think of Frank Lucas. Now, they said Frank Lucas even told on the police that he worked with, and they'd be like, well, is that snitching because it's police? Yes, it doesn't matter. You know, if you're in cahoots about some shit or you're involved in some shit and then you give people up, it's snitching, period. Don't matter. I don't care if it was fucking police. So Frank Lucas, he has to wear that. You know, he did what he did. This guy has the nerve, Queso's father, has the nerve to ask the question or act like, you know, he's not in the wrong if police are robbing the people that he sells drugs to and then giving the work back to him. And then the hood looks at him and says, yo, this is some shady shit. Or you like, duh, because you can stop that. You could say, don't rob, hey, police officers that I'm giving $4,000 or $5,000 to per week on the payroll. Don't rob that person because he's with me. He's actually pushing my packs. You know what I'm saying? Rob the people that's my competition, not my customers, not my street dealers. Wouldn't that make more sense? Point being, if you're actually dipping into your own peoples like that, it just shows the shady nature. And you say the whole hood's calling you shady. Motherfucker, I'm calling you shady and I'm not in the streets. I'm just putting 1 + 1 and getting 2, not 4. You're damn right it's shady. And it's this type of stuff that if you look into it, you say, damn, of course he was going to tell on his son. We were shocked. We were fucking shocked. Thinking like there's got to be some type of level. At least not your own son. But no, if it's in you, it's in you as far as like that ability to just be so self-preserving. You got people in this world that'll see the car coming and say, fuck it, that's a kid, that's my son, or whatever, I'm going to go. And other people that's going to just watch and be like, that's how the marbles just, that's how the cookie crumble for you. You know, it's just that super self-preservation mode. And, you know, people are who they are. Everybody's different. All right, let's leave Queso's pops alone for that one. Last, but I don't know why I brought this up. To close out the crime chapter, people, and all these updates that we had prior to getting into battle rap. Look at this shit. This shit says the entire hood is going to jail. Homie got the burger, the fries, the soda, and he got more than a full pepperoni pie. Look, the pie here is complete, and he still got 2 slices in front of him. That is what you call extra for real, like literally. Gosh, said, now let's stop laughing for a second. Let's be serious. You're a whole criminal or alleged criminal. You're under arrest. That's the only way you're in a fucking box. Nobody just walks into a police precinct and says, put me in the detect. Well, then again, I don't know. Let me not say that. You're there because you're under arrest. All right. Why would you get this type of preferential treatment? Why would you have somebody actually leave their job, go to the pizzeria or the wing spot or whatever, and fill this order and bring it to you while you're here being charged with, like, let's say murder or something, or shooting or some shit? Why? These boxes be so psychological. And I think that's why, even on the internet, crime, interrogations, courtroom content, verdicts, it's so viral. It's very intriguing to people. There's a psychological element to it. There's a criminal element to it. There's a teaching element to it, you know, and you get to see all of this type of stuff. But this is a little bit more serious of a breakdown here. It says, the interrogation room is designed to control the tempo and tilt the balance. The smartest move is realizing this is not a conversation or a chance to clear things up. Stop right there. That's got to be like a 101 teaching for a lot of interrogation officers, right? They say that all the time. It's like they use it from state to state. They'll say, listen, now's your opportunity to get your story, your side of the story out. They use that as such a fucking bait and switch hook. Now's your chance to get your side of the story out, as if what I say here is going to help me, because if I can prove that it was an accident versus you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not their job. The detectives aren't the judges and jury. People forget those distinctions. It's the same thing as being under arrest and trying to plead your case to an officer like Lil Meech. Look, when I saw Lil Meech pleading his case in multiple times, like in the airport and when he's in the back of the police car, pleading his case to the officer, I said, he don't really know the streets, or he don't really know the process. The officer's job is to lock your ass up and bring your ass in. Okay? The judge, we know what the judge does. We know what the jury does. We know what the detectives and the interrogators do. They all have separate jobs. All right. The detective or the interrogator here isn't well, let me not say not to convict you, because if they can get you to sign a guilty plea here, then you're done, of course, right? But they're also looking, if you're not going to sign a guilty plea and you're claiming not guilty, the opportunity to get all this type of information out of you here will still go straight to fucking trial. You know what I'm saying? And then the judge and the jury will play their part. You know, so it runs deep, and they fall victim to it every fucking time. Every time. The smartest move is realizing this is not a conversation or a chance to clear things up. It is a pressure environment built to extract statements. Calm posture, steady breathing, and minimal emotion immediately reduce leverage against you. Silence is power. You are not required to fill gaps or explain yourself. Every word creates risk, and small talk is still talk. The most effective phrase is a clear request for a lawyer and then stopping completely. Once a request is made, the room legally changes, and so should your mouth. Do not argue facts, debate timelines, or try to outsmart the process. Confidence comes from the restraint, not the bravado. Investigators are trained to wait you out, mirror your emotions, and present selective information to provoke reaction. Hell, even the girl in that interrogation audio with Young Thug got us talking about, oh no, she's just flirting with him. You fucking idiots. You fucking idiot. You got people on the internet really running with that shit saying, nah, that nigga Thug, hell no. That bitch is just flirting with him. That's why he was sliding the number. That's what she was doing. She's there with a whole guy that's already under arrest, brought in now for investigation. She knows what her and her fucking partner's there for, good cop, bad cop, and all this type of shit. We grow up knowing good cop, bad cop. Even parents do it. Your parents even do good cop, bad cop. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck? Really? And you guys got the nerve to try to argue with me talking about like, nah, that nigga Thug is just flirting with her. No, she's extracting from him. You get it? Fucking idiots. Y'all got it though. Y'all got it. Y'all do what y'all want. Provoke reaction. Patience protects you more than intelligence ever will. The viral truth is simple. Respectful, quiet, disciplined behaviors wins. You cannot talk your way out of the situation that talking created. In that room, the strongest flex is knowing your rights and using them without an apology. That's one thing I think shows a lot of strength, shows a lot of this isn't the type of person to just crack. This isn't the type of person that's just gonna off up. He's not gonna throw his friends under the bus. The person that's also willing to be calm and respectful. You know, I don't need to make this trip a tough thing on me. I don't need you to click the fucking bracelets even tighter. I don't need you to bang me up against the walls when you're walking me back and forth to the cell. I don't need that. Yeah, I'm gonna be nice and courteous and respectful, and I appreciate it, man. You know, it is what it is. But this conversation, your 2-hour audio that eventually hits the internet, it doesn't show that you are disciplined, street, tough. It doesn't show those things when that happens to you people. You know what I'm saying? I'll gladly take all the food though. You know, I'll take the food if you want to feed me, right? You know, there goes a fucking spin for you guys. I ain't got nothing to tell y'all niggas until I eat. I'm starving. Okay, what do you want? I want my favorite meal. I want Five Guys. Here's my order. Like Weebay did. There you go. That's an example. There we go. Fucking Weebay pulled that off. You know what I'm saying? He ordered his food for extra mustard and relish. I'll go a couple more bodies for y'all. And they said, okay, now tell us what we want to know. He said, I killed all them niggas. Nigga, what? He took everything. That's the spin. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to get all this food, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, now that I'm full and I Nate, and I don't know next time I'm gonna be able to eat like this. Appreciate y'all. What y'all want to know? Oh, I don't know nothing about that. I thought y'all was about to ask me like about my college years or some shit. You talking about what happened a couple blocks down from the crib last month? That them shots that went off? I ain't even hear nothing. I thought you about to ask me some other shit. That's why I gave you such a big food order. My bad. You would take me back to my cell. It's all good. Oh shit. All right. All ready for some battle rap, people? All right. Before we get into the title, I have a topic for battle rap. It's going to be, when should battle rappers retire? I want to do that first. And that's inspired by my guy Arsenal up here. He's talking to Hip Hop Israel. I believe he just battled Vixen the Assassin. Shout out to Vix. Shout out to Os. And after that, Hip Hop Israel, shout out to Hip Hop Israel, pulls up on Os and he starts talking about retirement. He had his little retirement thing before, but Os is, I'm gonna take his word a little bit more serious the way he talking here.
That don't bother me, but yeah. In 2026, you plan on doing the same amount or? Hell no. It's about to be a wrap for your boy, man. I ain't gonna hold you, man. My birthday Tuesday, man. I'm about to be 39 years old, man. Thank God. Yeah. Thank God willing, I make it to 40 and keep going past that, but it might be over for me at the next year, bro. 40, I can't see myself battle rapping at 40. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Inspiration that day, or you just feel like it's just, I mean, I'm gonna work so hard this year. That's how I know this year gonna be one of them years for me, because I gotta do everything possible now to work towards not having to battle, not having, because I'm happy, not taking battles, and you know what I'm saying? The money's still good for me. But, you know, I just want to have my hands in the culture. I don't want to be active too crazy no more. I maybe pop out once every 2-3 years for some big shit, Paul. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. But I'm it's almost over for your boy. I love the culture, and I'm gonna continue to do everything I can for it. Continue to help elevate, innovate new shit and all that. But me actively, man, it's time for me, almost time for me to, you know, pass that torch on to the next generation, the next class, and all that, man.
My man Osh Chain was hitting in the camera, wasn't it? My man Chain was getting a little Chris Brown going, right? Shout out to my nigga Osh, man. Let me also start by saying, if Arsenal retires, you know, he's one of those guys that deserves to have the big red carpet and the applause and, you know, all of the accolades. He's earned it. He's given so much of his life and his career to battle rap. He's done so much. People can earn their retirement, and then we should give them that celebration, you know. And I only brought this video up here, right here, that's on the screen. It's on my channel. I'm in YouTube Studio, just to show y'all this isn't no new thing. I'm not just saying this because I'm on this topic today. Fast forward December 2025. This is a 10-year-old video on my channel. The title of it is Quick Thoughts Battle Rap Mount Rushmore, and you see my thumbnail that I created. I have Arsenal on it. Arsenal has always been on my personal Mount Rushmore. I think in this video, if I remember correctly, I probably put that question mark to like math at the time. Now, my Mount Rushmore has changed over the years. I'm not going to say now who's there, who's not, other than Arsenal. I'll tell you that one person, and I'll spare the rest of the debate. We'll say that for another day. Arsenal remains on my Mount Rushmore, okay? Now, when is the right time for a battle rapper to retire? It's like it's not an easily scaled question. Let's start with somebody like an Arsenal. An Arsenal eventually runs out of big matches and you know, certain quality of opponents. You know, you got people like him, maybe a Tay Rock. You know, these people just like, yo, who the fuck am I gonna battle at this point? And then they give a lot of shots. They might battle females, they might battle up and comers, and that's dope. And a guy like Arsenal still gets good checks because he's Arsenal. He still has some draw to his name, of course, right? But he mentioned, even, you know, he's knocking on 40. Now, I don't want him to have a mental block because of the number, right? I think society does that a little bit too much to people, where it's just like, I can't see myself putting out an album at 40. I can't see myself on a battle rap stage at 40. I can't still see myself doing something at 40. And then you get there and you realize I still feel the same. I still look the same. I still have the passion. I still have the love for it. You know, Jay-Z tried to alter some of that when he was doing his 30 or 40 is the new 30, or 30 is the new 20, or whatever shit, right? If Jay-Z's in his 50s right now, right? If he puts out an album right now, most of us are going to be interested in hearing the album, okay? So I wouldn't want Arsenal to stop purely because he's going to be 40 soon, you know? And then he says pop out, every 2 to 3 years. Well, that would mean if you pop out twice after your retirement with 2 to 3 year gaps between them, that second gap, then you could be either 44 or 46, right? So now you're way past. So I would hate for Arsenal to retire because of how old he is. Okay. It would just have to be completion. Completion. I think that is one of the best retirements across all industries. If you feel completion and if you feel a sense or vibe of I did what I wanted to do, you will be able to live with it. Walking away from some of your biggest passions, you'll be able to you'll feel good about it. You'll be able to celebrate it. There's people that retire from their niches or their expertise areas or their artistry, and it follows them because the terms of the retirement were not what fulfilled you. It was, for example, pushed out. You got certain battlers that retire at times because they don't get booked anymore. They're not going to say that, right? But it's the truth. It's like I'm looking around, my phone don't ring anymore. In any job, if you stop getting paid, you quit. All right. So that's no different in battle rap. And the point that I'm really trying to make there is retirement feels good when you're the one that invokes it. It doesn't feel good when it happens for something that's outside of your control. So that's the best time to retire in general. Okay. When it's within your control. Battle rappers now. We're seeing that there's not really a age that needs to be tied to it in the world of hip hop. Okay. Some of the oldest rappers had the most impact and the most quality music to come out in 2025 in the music industry. The Clips is one of the examples. They're up for album of the year. Okay. Is Malice in his 50s or some shit? I forget, right? So that's a walking real life testament. Hip hop has expanded the age bracket. And we deserve to have that. We shouldn't be looking down on each other because somebody's rapping in their 50s. But there needs to be a cause. If you don't have the great cause for you as a rapper or a battle rapper, you absolutely need to retire. So, what are some of these causes that people would battle rap for? One is always going to be the money. Okay. If you're not getting paid well, because I said earlier, if the checks and the phone call stop, then go do something else. But if you're not getting paid well, if you're a battle rapper that's never even made it to that level, if you're not getting paid, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 per outing, if it's insignificant money, if it's the type of money that doesn't impact your lifestyle, because everybody's lifestyle is different. For some people's lifestyle, $1,000 can pay the rent and or if you do that 12 times in a year, you made it another year, right? So $1,000 could be a lot of money to certain people. Okay. But if it's not significant money that you're making based on your lifestyle, that's one reason to say, my inspiration is going to be gone. There's all business behind this stuff. People are capitalizing on my art. What am I doing at this point? Am I just enjoying rapping? Because battle rap is still a business. If you really just want to get your artistry off, if that's what it's about and there's no business to tie to it, then do that on your own. Start a YouTube channel, create some music, upload it, and you'll still get paid for that, but it won't be, the focus, and you'll be managing your own content and you'll be in the ownership of it. And you won't have to be at the mercy of somebody else's contracts and business, so to speak. So the money to me is one thing. The person's impact. If every time you step outside, nobody cares, you can get to the point, if you're not already, where that's the type of retirement that just follows you. Nobody cares. You rapped last week, you rapped last month, you rapped last year, you got booked 3 times this year. Nobody cares. You throw that fucking rock in the water and there's no ripples. That's going to haunt you, whether you know it or not. It's just like, I can't even get interest. That's a good time. And that's not just people that never got to that level, but it's also from people declining. You could be a guy that you've lost the interest. People lose interest because you're not as good of a battle rapper as you used to be. I can name a couple, but don't want to offend anybody. I think we could all name a couple. Okay. You're not as good as you used to be. So you're declining, right? Nobody really cares as much as they used to. Not just how good you are. How about you keeping up with the times. We did a whole radio segment the other day and used examples of like academics and streaming world and old man Ebro versus like a Charlemagne and how you stay cutting edge. And even in the world of technology, if you don't get on board with AI, you're fucked a couple years from now. You might be fucked right now. Okay. So staying cutting edge with even your style. Shit, I understand why some of you motherfuckers is copying New Jersey twerk. You're trying to stay cutting edge. That old 1990 shit ain't gonna go. You know what I mean? So that's another thing that could get your ass on that list of there's no impact for you anymore. Nobody really cares. You know what I'm saying? When you come outside. So you got the money, you got the no impact and nobody cares, right? How about when things become a detriment to your mental health and even your safety, right? So for me, that's one of my things. You know, like I don't want to be around some of these people. You know, like a lot of things have already happened and more can happen. That's like on my list of things that I retired away from. I don't want to be around a lot of these people, man, because I'm gonna do something. Somebody's gonna do something. One of my people's gonna do something. One of their people's gonna do something, and it's something could be bad. You know, it'd be a lot of bad energies, even stupid energies that kick up. ARP didn't book me for the last 5 cards, and I feel disrespected. And we see each other, and then the way that we talk goes left. Now we got an altercation, a physical altercation, possibly. We all know that physical altercations could go all different types of ways. People get hurt bad. People get embarrassed. People could have their careers affected. People could lose their lives. People could end up in jail, end up in court. Why? Because you was online, you know, lying on me or some shit like that. Nah, I'm getting away from y'all. You know what I'm saying? I think those are really the top three. You know, like, and I could use like an Eazy. You know, you'll justfully put up like a Twitter poll, like 80% of culture hates me or whatever. And I think he knows that, which hence the all the security that he brings to events. But he's not comfortable being around the battle rap people and the battle rap culture. I don't think that that's comfortable, like the way that you're moving around now. You do what you got to do, and I know you're picking up your bag and you get a chance to rap and you get a chance to, you know, maintain your popularity, etc. But I think Easy is an example of it's just like, yo, if it's going to be dangerous, hell, I had interviewed Primo up here when I had Marv on the other day, right? Primo said he was paying attention to somebody else or a different situation that he thought was going to kick up, right? That's the environment. That's the energies that are around. Okay. It's not just Cassidy in front of you. And the same goes for Cassidy. You know, like it could happen either way. People get hurt either way. I heard somebody on Cassidy's side arguing with somebody on Easy's side, and somebody was like, that shit is here or whatever. And somebody argued back to Cassidy's side, like, they ain't stopped making guns when they made yours. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, yo, that's really the energy. You know what I mean? So if you feel like you have a safety concern for yourself, you got to protect home. If the thing is always make it home, then you got to be careful about constantly putting yourself in a place that you feel is dangerous. There's no ego that you need to apply there. It's about raising these children, protecting yourself, and extending your life as long as possible. Okay. So I think those are the top three things when you should invoke retirement. When the money is not significantly impacting your life at all. Yeah, a lot of people that have been rapping 10 years for $200. I mean, if you like it, you like it. If you like it, I love it. You know. B, your impact is either never been that or it's declined significantly. Or C, you just feel like it's a detriment to your mental health or possibly even your physical. At that point, you should remove yourself. You know, don't be the guys that's waiting around for retirement to get you. No, you get retirement. Okay. Like I saw a virtual battle the other day, and I mean this with like no disrespect, but like shout out to Ice. I saw Ice doing that virtual battle, and the reason I saw it is I think bloggers are picking it up because he choked in it. And I was watching the virtual battle, and we know Ice is a little bit older, right? That's like an angle that people even use and rap against him, right? But I was just looking at him, just like this whole makeup of this, just with Ice's profile, like what he's like his name and his relevance, and going back to like the Lions Den days and being a pioneer and being an entity in battle rap this long. It just didn't look right for me. I'm just like, There's certain things I just don't want to see premier names in or involved in. It's just like, it looks like a fall from grace sometimes. And I'm not saying that situation, somebody could jump out and say, ARP, fuck you, I got paid $20,000 from Cameron and Mace. I'm not saying that about, I'm just saying the presentation of things when it just looks like people are just floating around, you know? And if you look around, man, everybody's growing these grays in their biz, man. I see Chilla in his interviews. I see Oz got a couple. I got one that keeps popping up like right here. I got a couple on, is it this side? On this side, I got a couple that coming over here every once in a while. I clip them shits. You know what I'm saying? Like I got like 3 that I clip every time I shave. You know what I'm saying? Niggas growing their grays, getting old and all this type of shit. Don't be a hang around because I got nothing better to do or nowhere to go. You know, like you don't want to be that person. Nowhere to go and nothing to do. And if you look around, I've seen those people for years. Nowhere to go and nothing else to do. You know, you don't want to be in that spot. Shout out to my man 3 in the Billy says, I'm older than all you gray hair. Oh, 3. He always wants to compete. Now you could win that competition. All right. You could win the gray hair competition. You got that. Oh, I'm glad you're here too, because yesterday I saw a comment in my joint and I responded to it yesterday. And I was talking about Polo because I brought up some of Polo's footage and I gave him a shout out saying people like Polo, Fax, and Angry Fan, you know, are examples of people that tackled the most interviews and did a great job in 2025 in battle rap. And my mind forgot to say 3. 3 is absolutely on that list, you know, like, and there are probably others too. And I hate when I do that. I always forget somebody, but somebody dropped a comment, I replied to, and I said, yes, 3 absolutely does belong on that shit. So I said in the comment, I'm glad you just reminded me I could say it on stream, even though I don't fuck with 3. He's an op. He's a whole op to me. All right, you guys ready for the title, main event? Ain't gonna be too crazy. Ain't gonna be too crazy. Ain't gonna be too crazy. What's the title say? Is Eazy wrong for the way he is handling the Cassidy battle? Thumbnail. Did I keep my thumbnail still saying apply pressure? What did my thumbnail say? Yeah, my thumbnail says apply pressure. And you guys see Eazy and you see Chilla Jones in the title. Eazy, I know you're watching right now, nigga. I know you've been sitting there waiting for the title to come around. I know you're watching. So Eazy gonna put me on his list. He's gonna be like, I woke up at 7 o'clock and niggas on Spaces on my dick. You know how you do that little fake ass laugh? I don't think it's a real laugh all the time. You know what I'm saying? Hey, fucking diss the niggas for being in Spaces or 7 o'clock. Don't diss me because it's now 8:26. I hope that's not too early. Niggas know that I had a live that I was doing every day at 6 a.m. and some of you people were coming up. Nobody bothered me then. As a matter of fact, Eazy, you have footage on your channel, unless you set it to private now. You have footage on your channel say, nah, I'll be waking up watching some of them Jones on ARP. Sorry, it's too early in the morning. So don't fucking diss me now because I'm early, have an early topic on you. For me, it's not early, but all right. I know you're getting at some of the other niggas telling them get off your dick and you're throwing the D word around a lot, man. You know what I'm saying? Please, I don't want to. Come on, man. It's just you're the algorithm. You're the top guy. You're the highest viewed. You make everything go. Nobody does good views without you. So shit, let me get in on the action, man. I'm a whole podcaster, man. And you being the algorithm, I just want to continue to have algorithmic based topics. That's all. You know what I'm saying? You damn sure did that on your. Don't make me pull up your channel right now and do it live and scroll through the last 2 years of your channel and show all the topics and all the lies and the times you brought people up to talk about people's pay-per-views. And you got you and Rosenberg Raw up there and you having a good old time talk about, oh, this was wrong and that battle fucked up and this and going at people, whatever. Oh, yeah. You know, like when it's against you, you know, like it doesn't fit your narratives, like, you know. And this is all part of my intro because I like to be the guy that is just like, damn, that nigga ARP, he don't just speak, you know, from the guy that's like this. Like, no, that nigga went through it too. You know, that's why I feel so comfortable talking about snitches because I was there and I had those opportunities and I know what I did. You know, so I don't fit the bill of the people that be like, you got all these squares, even though I am a square. Squares on the internet talking about shit that what they would do and they ain't never been there. Oh, that don't fit me. I was there, you know what I'm saying? And even for your times to be attacked. And I'm not attacking Easy, you know what I'm saying? But I think Easy thinks that he's under attack right now, and to a degree, he might be from the culture, right? I've been there too. I know what it's like to have big voices against you. Cassidy's a big voice. I know what it's like to have big voices stir up and influence other people like Cassidy is able to do. For me, that person's name was Sue Surf. Okay. Like you have like a Sue Surf that has backing and energies of the entire URL, right? And then he influences people. And that's why you see people like, let's say, Jack Boy Maine at the time, you know, getting that little RBE and KFC and all this type of stuff. You see the bill collectors and people like that in spaces. They don't have the best words for RBE at the time, right? They're group too. They gang, they're Midnight Madness and stuff, right? Makes sense. It's all good. I get it. Yeah, Mike P. Shout out to Mike P. Me and Mike P is cool now. I think Mike P even did a tweet or an interview saying like that shit with RBE was like kind of like I did it for a different you know, I think he said he admit that. And I respected that. And I say shout out to Mike P, man. I appreciate him for that. Yeah, Mike P. There's other battlers. You know, I remember you got Twerk. He did a 15 Minutes of Fame interview going at me and RBE and defending URL at times. That whole URL energy with the Surfs and all. Tay Rock and Surf got interviews in the hallway going at me, kicking me around. Surf got interviews on Hip Hop Is Real. Don't even mention RBE. This is a URL interview. Fuck that RBE bullshit or whatever. Fuck that backtown shit or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I know what it's like, man. I had a lot of battle rap ops because of that shit. You know what I mean? I wasn't an asshole about it, though. I just fought my fights. You know what I'm saying? I just fought my fights. I went after the ringleader, which was Surf. Well, the front person, I should say. You know? Fought my fights. You know, it was what it was. But I've been there, man. I understand Easy. So Easy does a recent live. Don't flag my channels either, Easy. I mean, if you do, I'll edit it out because I don't necessarily need this to make my points. But I will consider that an act of war. I'll consider like, damn, he don't fuck with me at all, man. I thought we was cool. Don't flag my videos, man. Okay, and you can use my content if you want. Easy. Easy says that if he doesn't hear from TBL by tomorrow, no battles will be happening this weekend. Okay, let's play this. Okay. Once again, from a business standpoint, you know, who am I to judge? You know, people's business is people's business. I always try to avoid playing with people's bread or money, anything like that. I don't want people to do it to me. But you know, I try my best there. So respect to any pending business. But it makes me ask a question. So I'm watching this yesterday, and does anybody else start to have the same question that I have, which is he said multiple times now in different videos, business needing to be completed. And even in Twerk's interview with Polo, you know, Twerk is like, man, I can't speak to Eazy and TBL. They've been professional with me. I'm good. I'm ready to rap. Everything that I need has been taken care of. But, you know, I can't speak to his shit. And neither can I. I don't know Eazy's business. I don't. You know, I'm just speculating. I'm just from outside looking in. But the question that it makes me ask is, what business? Now, Eazy has been, he's willing to say anything else on camera, you know, and when it comes from a person that is willing to say damn to anything else, and I see, hence the thumbnail, the pressure being applied, using your platform to apply pressure, not just to Cassidy, but multiple times now to TBL. That's why Chilla is in the thumbnail, people. So it makes me ask, what type of business? And the reason why I asked that is because we all know that the battle was already in front of each other on pay-per-view. So gotta assume for Cassidy and Eazy to sign on to the battle, to promote the battle, to show up to the face-off, to eventually show up to the stream 2 weekends ago and get through a first round before the whole debacle and all that. And I got 2 more videos to bring up for y'all too. Y'all hang back. We got to assume that a contract was in place, some money was already exchanged, some agreements have already been had, right? We got to assume that. So what anything after that would be, in my opinion, some type of change or addendum, right? Now you can't change my original contracts. If my original contract says you don't get your full back end until, for example, you don't get your full back end until all 3 rounds is completed. Then it says, if you don't complete the battle over here, you can't do the battle anywhere else, right? I'm holding the booking and the promotion of that battle to me. I'm invested in it. Let's also say you also have an obligation to fulfill this battle or fulfill a battle with me within the next 6 months. Some contracts go as far as saying, if you miss the battle, right, you can't do a different battle until you complete a performance with me. Right. I'm not saying his contract. I have no clue, but some contracts will say that, and that's justifiable because if a lucrative offer comes around, right, you want to have paperwork and clauses that stop somebody from being able to just be grabbed by another platform, and that empowers your cease and desist and bad business and people trying to block battles and all this type of stuff that can happen in battle rap, right? So you're able to say, well, now I can even make this other company liable for picking you up because I might even in the back of my head think that they're the reason why you're not showing up because you gave me my fucking deposit back on some Aver versus Luck shit. But anyway, allegedly, right? So some contracts will say that. And in battle rap, unfortunately, we should have that. And I just kind of snuck you an example of why. Allegedly. I don't know TBL's contract. If it's not in your contract now, TBL, put it in all your contracts going forward. But anyway, the pressure of Eazy's voice continuing to speak against TBL like this, what's the only thing that could be an option? This did not come from TBL. This did not come from Cassidy. This did not come from Eazy. This is me throwing out an opinion. I could be wrong. Is Eazy now looking for a piece of his back end or the rest of his back end before the battle happens? That's the only thing I have left because you guys already had a contract in place. Now, would Eazy be wrong to ask for a portion or all of his back end prior to trying to redo the Cassidy battle? If you're in Eazy shoes, maybe not. Maybe Eazy thinks, I done talked a lot of shit. He done talked a lot of shit. There could be a high probability that this battle doesn't finish again. And if it doesn't finish again, at least this time I got my fucking money. That could be the thought. That could be the thought, you know. Money, I feel like him continue to mention and put this type of pressure on TBL. And I thought that obviously was a tactic of his because TBL puts out the fucking flyer of Cassidy and Eazy. And most battle rap fans that are interested in the match, we said, oh, it's back on. Good job, TBL. And Eazy came and he stepped on that and said, I'm telling you right now, that shit might not happen if the business don't finish. And we just said, what the fuck? So him doing that publicly, stepping on that promo like that and pretty much saying TBL put that out, but we ain't done. Him doing that publicly like that, that's pressure. That's pressure on TBL. If TBL has some business behind the scenes where they're in the wrong, then yeah, you deserve the public pressure because I know what it's like to use the public, right? Hell, Hitman used the public to make sure that he can use elements to make Eazy still stay with his battle. I'm not saying that Eazy was going to flake, but once the cease and desist allegedly started going around, that's why Hitman went public. He said, I'm going to use my voice, I'm going to use my power to make everybody stand on their fucking decisions as much as possible. So I get it if Eazy is using his platform and his voice and going live and applying pressure to TBL. But is it the best business approach? I don't know. I want to put questions out there too now. Is that the best business approach? Is that a detriment to the relationship between you and TBL? Is that good business tactics with somebody that you're in business with? Is it justified based on how the battle ended, which is a piece that I'm going to get to in a second, right? Is it possible fear that it won't happen again, right? Because if I'm TBL, here's something that I'm thinking about doing as well. I'm thinking about definitely not fucking putting these back ends out now and using that as a hope that you guys definitely finish the fucking battle, right? If from a league standpoint, it's actually smarter for you not to have your full back end if I think there's an itch. Like, imagine if I paid Math and Serious in full, Hitman and Bill Collector in full. You know what I'm saying? Some of these grudge matches and shit in full. Or the 100 skirmishes that you saw on the RBE channel, if they were just all paid in full. You think nobody in those situations is going to throw a punch, a slap, a push, or say fuck it and never get them, collect themselves, get back together, calm down, their entourage and all that shit? The fucking footage in the third round with Cassidy and Hitman, I used this example before. I'll use it again because it's one of the biggest in the battle rap culture. It's one of the biggest main events in battle rap history. When they start doing the fucking remix and all that, and Show Out is jumping into the rounds and getting in Cassidy and Cassidy's entourage face, and then the whole skerfuffle starts to ensue. There's a clip in it. Go watch the video where Hitman says to Show Out, chill out, chill out, chill out. I got to get paid. It's right there in the footage for everybody to see. Chill out, chill out, chill out, chill out. I got to get paid. And then you see Show Out say, I got you, I got you. So that's not me calming that down. I'm doing my best in the background. I'm trying. I'm the part of the fray, Marv. But Show Out is listening to his brother more than he's listening to me in that situation. And Holla, I'm not trying to say that Holla would have disrespected me or the platform like that. I'm just saying his mind was there. And he even told his entourage that. Okay? So Eazy's applying pressure to a league that is a little quiet. Chilla's not an outspoken person like that. Kenny, a lot of y'all don't even know what Kenny looks like. You know, they're not moving like that. Okay. Whereas a Smack gravitates to a camera. ARP gravitates towards being transparent and expressing everything that he feels is going on. Right. Not every league is like that. Behind the scenes, they're probably fucking slitting their wrists. Could be. You know what I'm saying? So Eazy, I'm not saying put your business out there, but when you say TBL is still some business pending, since you want to put the pressure out and use it publicly like you've been, why don't you give us some alluding to? You know, let us know what you mean by that, because you keep telling us that the battle is still in jeopardy. Meanwhile, it sounds like TBL is trying their best. Doesn't mean that they're all the way in the right. I think Cassidy's trying his best. Doesn't mean he's all the way in the right. I don't know the updates with Cassidy. I haven't spoken to him a couple of days. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not even saying that you're wrong, brother. I'm not. But you're being or you're using a position of the public right now. So you're just creating more questions, you know? All right. I want to give you guys some in-flight reaction to now the full clip from the Joe Budden podcast. And once again, shout out to the whole Joe Budden podcast, one of my favorite podcasts. Up there, you got Ice on this one, you got Flip on this one, and you got Joe on this one. All right, let's check it out.
Obviously. But I thought that personal shit was an angle I didn't expect from him.
Here was my problem with it. I thought it was great. Exactly. I felt like because Eazy might have got offended or was in his feelings, in my opinion, that I just felt like Eazy should have just, when Cassidy said, yo, rap over there, you know what I mean, step back, Eazy chose to say, nah, I'm going to be in your face. I thought
that's a Cassidy win.
Yeah,
that is a Cassidy win.
Say more.
That's back to
I thought Eazy
having,
no, get Joe, my fault.
That's back to having experience and knowing the fundamentals of the game. Like
how to work the heckler, yeah.
Eazy had more to gain from this battle. Cassidy's Cassidy already. If Cassidy is asking you, yo, please step back, stop spitting on me, Eazy got 2 rounds that he's dying, 2 more rounds he's dying for people to hear. He can't wait to get these out. If
two pieces there. I told you I want to give y'all in-flight reactions to this particular video. Now, you know somebody like Eazy would hear this and be like, what you mean, Cassie's like, I'm not one of them niggas, like I'm not the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? You know, Cassidy obviously is the bigger name artist. I've seen him, we see him get picked up in his promo, get picked up on platforms outside of battle rap in this particular run, whereas I don't see those platforms engage when like Eazy battles a bunch of other people recently, you know, the John or the Reed or whatever. I don't see that activity outside. When it's Rem involved, I do see that. So it's Rem and Cassidy and Hitman that have definitely taken some of these moments to other platforms that I saw. You know, as far as the game, I think Eazy has the talent to be one of the guys that would have the type of draw power of, like, let's say Cassidy. I do. I think he's a very, very talented guy, you know, because at some point, Eazy has to step outside of Rem's shadow. Now, the way he references her a lot, you know, still keeps him in that shadow. And that's why he has this whole image that comes off at times to many people. It's like some Pac shit. It's like all I need in this life of sin is me and my guy. That's how he comes off sometimes. He says shit like if I can get Knowledge's channel down, I'll take my girl to Spain. Well, you don't need to take down somebody's channel to take your girl to Spain. You can just go to Spain randomly. It's like that's all I need in this life is sin. It's me and my girlfriend. Oh, he's gonna diss me, and I'm not dissing him. He's gonna fucking diss me. I know he's gonna call me a dick eater. He's going to say I use him for views. I was talking about him early in the morning. I'm a clown. I turned on him. This is inspired by Cassidy. It's also he's Hitman's friend. I see it coming. Oh my God. Why did I just say that? He's not going to be able to take that as a joke. He's going to diss me. But all jokes aside, like moving outside of that shadow, I think with his talent, he would get to those places. Okay. So I think he did have more to gain. But the second reason why I think Joe is also alluding to have more to gain is because if Eazy's whole aura is these next 2 rounds is going to seal the deal for me, and I just got to get these shits out, then there you go. You know, but is Eazy more of the reason for the battle not completing? You know, we'll get to some of that in the next video.
If the result is going to be there is no battle now because they were already fighting time restraints, then I think that hurts Eazy more than it hurts Cassidy. Mm-hmm. Cassidy left there, took 100 niggas and went to the second Philly location to try to battle, where they were filming Eazy pull up in a Suburban
in the truck
and pull off.
Mm-hmm.
See, there is aesthetics could win you and lose you this thing. It don't matter what Cassidy had to say in the next 2 rounds.
Mm-hmm. I heard 2 different stories about what was going on there. Now, obviously, Eazy's version of it was, I wanted to battle him in the next location. First, we said, just me, you, and our security. No. Cass said no. Then he said, just me and you, and Cass said no. I'm not saying that's true, but that's easy.
No, I heard that too.
Oh, yeah.
I heard it too. Yeah. No. If I'm Cassidy, nah, dog. With this, whatever was going on over there is going on over here. I have people flying for this battle. I got my cousin I ain't seen in 20 years. I got my niggas with me. We going in here to battle.
And there's a lot of complaints on Eazy. There's a lot of
I'm with Cass on that.
And we in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I'm with Cass on that.
And there's a lot of people. Then why not just continue to battle where we at?
No, because
we couldn't.
We couldn't there. We had to leave here.
No, I'm saying because of fear of violence. So if we have
all time restraints.
Yes, true.
But what I'm saying is,
and Eazy walked off first.
But look,
yeah, that's true.
Part of what I'm doing is showing that I got all of Philly behind me.
Yeah,
that's part of it. You don't know what he had in the lines, and you don't have like in the verses. Mm-hmm. So yeah,
that's a big point that Ice is making right there, man. I so agree with that. You know, it'd be one thing if Cassidy was saying you can't bring 500 people or 40 people. You know, like if I'm trying to tilt the scale and put you at a disadvantage, that's a whole different conversation where we all got to just stick up for Eazy and be like, nah, Cass is tripping. We got to. Is it my fault that you and I are both from Philly? That's what we're all saying, right? If you ask Cass where you from, you're going to say Philly. If you ask Eazy where you from, you're going to say Philly, right? We're both from Philly. And I got all of this behind me and all of this people, even to the second look. Is that my fault? Because this is even what I represented in the lead-in. This is all the promo. This is why, like, let's say, and I just want to give you guys real examples. And I know some of them are still sensitive at times, but I just want to give you guys real examples. Like, we've seen this before. This is why Serious Jones and Beasley almost get into a fight in that venue upstairs. And I seen it with my own eyes. I was there. before I went downstairs with my stage pass and just got on stage and just like, fuck it, they're clearing out upstairs because of the venue time and they're making everybody go downstairs. I'm just going to use my stage pass now and go and stand on stage. Everybody heard me tell that story before. This is why because you got this whole promo run that Sirius is trying to do. Allegedly, I'll still say, right? And then he gets there and he can't put that video on the screen for math, which is part of everything that's been built. He's been trying to build up. So then he has an issue with the league, like an argument over that. Like, what you mean I can't do this? This is all part of my shit. So imagine I'm Cassidy. You could sell tickets and pay-per-views for the last month of me on my private or my personal Instagram and all of this going crazy, building up this big narrative around Pottsville and Pottsville Pigeon. I got other people standing up and chiming in all this type of stuff. And this whole narrative then is to say, I'm Philly and he's not. I don't care if Eazy is the most Philly nigga in the world. I'm just saying the battle promo that Cassidy created. And then I get to the battle and there's an issue with me presenting Philly, whether it's the first or the second location. This whole promo run should make you also want to present Philly if you don't see it coming, because that's what's going to happen. And Cassidy's even saying it in the lead-in. He's saying it. Read, all these people going to be behind me, but he's saying it public. He's telling people. So if you want to counter that, counter it. If you don't, you don't. But then that becomes your choice. You know, because Eazy said that he had like 30, 40 people with him in the building as well. It's not Cassidy's fault that they didn't come with you to the second location, you know, unless we're saying, I would rather just hear that from Eazy. Then I would watch this. I'm not trying to put him in a corner. I'm not trying to Blair Witch Eazy with this. But if Eazy comes out and simply says that second location was a safety concern for me, I won't have anything else to say. I won't have it. This is why all the other battle rappers that are just like, what you mean the second I don't care about how. This is why because you know the battle rappers, they got that gangster machismo element to them too. They're just like, I don't care if it's 40 on 5. Like, but I haven't heard if Eazy, if he said that, then I'm done with that topic. But if Eazy comes out and says, I didn't get out that truck, or I didn't want to do that battle 40 versus 5 or whatever because it was a safety concern, I won't have anything else to say. If he says it's because I thought that they were going to heckle me or whatever, like, that's no different than being on the road. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just watched Geechee have to deal with that while fucking Sirius Jones and Murder Mook and all these motherfuckers is up there dancing on stage and shit. Location is always going to matter. You're always going to, if you have, how many battlers argue that as their resume? Somebody like Hitman will argue that. My career is on the road. All these away games, right? Location matters. If you're on the road and you're in somebody else's city, you might get heckled. You might get a biased crowd, right? The only difference here is what we're talking about is that it's Philly and it's the narrative leading in of who these two people are. That's changes from when I just got to go to somebody else's city and battle them. What if you go to Newark to fuck Newark? Oh my God. We actually might as well just use another real world example. What the fuck is Eazy going to claim happened while he even edited out certain pieces of the footage when he battled Shotgun Suge where? In Suge's backyard. But this is your backyard. Oh my God. Let's continue.
This is all a part of my shit. They here with me, nigga.
Raps ain't the only thing that could win or lose you a battle. When I woke up the next day after that battle ended, I saw nothing but battle rappers kicking Eazy The Block Captain's back.
Same.
Because the people, first of all, there were people complaining that Eazy put in his contract they couldn't get in the building. There's a lot of things.
They couldn't get in the building.
There's a lot of things that just look crazy.
And I was easy on that one though, bro. It was a list of people that said I'm gonna fuck you up when I see you. You want to have him standing behind me while we battle?
Yes. See, a battle rap, you can't take that position.
Can't.
Why? Tell me why.
It might be ignorant what we're saying, but you just can't. You just need to.
That could be used against you.
Yeah. I take that.
Again, in battle rap, where you supposed to be looking like super thug gangster nigga,
you make
certain moves like that. Look,
you already in here with your security.
Mm-hmm.
That looks away.
Looks away.
Now you're banning people Some of those people did not say we want to inflict violence on you. You
That's
just
true.
got a list of people that you don't want in the building.
Yeah, you don't want. Yeah, that's true.
For the battle,
you don't want
in your
Clarissa Shields in there, right? Like,
yeah, for the battle in your hometown, yes, that does come off a certain way. And I saw plenty of battle rappers saying, if I was in my hometown, I'm finishing a battle no matter what, no matter where in my hometown. You couldn't finish a battle in Philadelphia.
Well, that was part of the, again, Cass thing. You and I don't know this, but you ain't really from here.
From Potts, he said.
You from up there.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna show you.
Pottstown.
And I'm gonna show you because Philly's with me. It's different.
When Eazy started cooking on that topic in round one, he definitely was addressing it.
No,
Yeah, he
for
did.
sure.
Yeah, he bodied it.
Yeah, but don't evade it is my thing. Stand in it as the leader and as the owner and as the people that we're looking at. We're looking at TBL, Cassidy, and Eazy. You know, like don't do that. Don't do that. I'm not saying I see through that as if Eazy said that it's full. I'm not trying to interpret his words, but I don't want to hear that in scenarios like this. I don't want you to say, "Oh, I'm not doing that because of my people's blah 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 blah." You know what I'm saying? Like if it's a safety concern for you as well, then just say that. Because these people will then try to convince me that the people that they bring with them are their entourage, and one of their jobs is protection, i.e., even security guards. So I don't want to hear, oh, because my fear is for my peoples. That's the type of people that people bring to these battle rap stages all the time. They're protectors. Like some people have hired security, and that's okay. I never diss them for that. And so, well, you know, anyway. But some people, their security is their friends. You know, it's just like this guy right here, punch, slap, shoot, stab for me, and that's why I'm bringing him. You know, and you're in Philly, and that you know where this changes so much and drastically. As much as I love to see safety and security, right? It's just so different based on the energy that the person presents. Like if I get on camera for my entire RBE tenor and I just present this whole gangster ass atmosphere, and that's, you know what I'm saying, when some gangster shit happens at my venue, not only is it the energy that I cultivated, you know what I'm saying, but you're gonna be like, nah, we ain't hearing that shit from you, ARP. We heard that shit. That's why these battle rappers get slapped around anytime they get exposed with paperwork or they get punched on, or you know what I'm saying, is because their perception, their images is that of so gangster. Yeah, I mean, so it's just like you gotta walk that sometimes. I know there's the element of entertainment, and safety is always to be one of the top, if not the top priority. You know what I'm saying? But there is that element of battle rap where people are going to make you walk what you talk. And every once in a while, that's going to happen, whether it's on stage, off stage, in the street. They're going to make you walk what you talk. People get confronted based on the energy that they put out every fucking day, B. You're a whole gangster. Sooner or later, somebody's going to want you to prove it. You're a tough guy. You laughing, you taking shots, SMD all the time on the internet. Sooner or later, you're going to come across somebody that's going to want to make you prove that. You're the best boxer in the world. Somebody's going to say, yo, I want to fight him. That's life. So sometimes you can't have it both ways. Sometimes you can't, you know, and that's where we do our best to secure these situations. But I would rather hear the league tell me that then, right? Because the league is the place that books the venue. The league is the ones that I believe put together even the second location, right? I'd rather than TBL. Then I got no argument there either. I'd rather TBL come out and say, look, man, based on the energy of these two guys, the promo leading in, the face-off, which just happened in the last venue, you got 40 people right here. You know what I'm saying? This person got 5. The balance of this, I'm just using my spider senses, my intuition. I don't think this is going to go the right way. I feel a safety concern. The only way I'm allowing this battle to happen as the league is I'm going to give you two guys the fucking choices, or we could all get the fuck on and not complete these contracts. Real shit. I'm going to say, it's either going to be y'all two alone or 5 and 5, if that's how I feel based on what I'm seeing in front of me. And they could disagree. They could say, fuck you, ARP, and then we could all be at odds and drive the fuck off. Okay? It's a little different if Cassidy does that or if Eazy does that based on the energy that they've put out publicly and the things that they say and do. It's different. I have yet to hear what TBL felt about there's 40 people with you and there's 5 people with you. I haven't heard that. Okay. Actually, that would be extremely significant if I heard that.
And the crowd, the crowd was behind Cass for sure, but it wasn't like Eazy wasn't getting love when he was spitting his verse.
He smoked his verse. Yeah,
He smoked
all
it.
that.
I gave him the first. I told him
download. Let me update him down bandwidth. He got into his own.
Crazy.
He did get into his own.
Crazy.
Ain't nobody say the boy can't rap. We just question your background and decisions you make,
which is all fair. And
especially in hip hop.
In order to advance the culture, because it's going to always be at a standstill if we keep having situations like this. I feel like they should finish the battle. I feel like sometimes you have to put your pride aside, because I've watched people on stage in big battles say, you know what? I stand right here. I watch people go at it when it was Rex, whether it was Clips, that you say, okay, because they want to finish the battle. Yeah. You do that, you just put another stain on it, and you just show that the diva behavior is not wanted in battle rap. Not only that,
hold on, Flip, I got you. So before we even talk about the diva side of things, the spacing side of things, to finish a battle, real world example, y'all know if I really wanted to do a live dedicated to that, like if somebody contested me on that, I would just pull up 20 of the examples. You guys know how I am. I'll just give you one here in flight. Calico versus Big K. On the lead-in, there was a little bit of a concern, and I think Calico doesn't deserve this reputation. I actually support Calico in people not looking at him this way. I get it. Calico had that moment with Pat Stay. Rest in peace, Pat Stay. It looked a certain way. Okay? And Calico already prior to that had the street reputation at time. I don't want to say bully, because it's not like Calico in his career is just walking around bullying people. Get out my way. Get out my way. give me your cornbread. Like he didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? But it was the BMF. It was the street shit. It was his believability. It's where he's from. It's the element that he really presented. So he is who he is. You got to give Calico that. You know what I'm saying? Calico's reputation is not fake. But at the same time, in battle rap as a performer, I don't think that he deserved the reputation that he got from that situation with Pat Stay. And because of the sensitivity around Pat Stay, I want to say I'm not sure if this is fully accurate, but I thought I heard this before. And I apologize if I'm incorrect. I apologize beforehand. I believe I heard people publicly already state, I won't say who, I'll just say that was semi-related to, I believe, I don't even want to say the battle rapper's name, related to how people feel about people with conditions. And if you know battle rap history enough, you know what I'm talking about. The interviews might still be out there. All right. That's the softest way I could say it. So, from my knowledge of that history, that was personal. Okay. Fast forward, you get to like Calico and Big K. Big K was even pushing that narrative in the promo. He was like, "What? You think you're gonna beat me on stage because you're gonna chest bump me or bump me or whatever, boom, 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 whatever?" And he was putting that out there. And then there was certain things that I said behind the scenes, and I already have my contracts about physicality, whatever. But once again, Calico doesn't deserve that reputation to me. But if you watch that battle, or if you remember that promo, if you even find some of the discussion points, the bloggers talking about that battle leading in, physicality was absolutely a narrative. And then the battle starts and Calico keeps his distance the whole time. I'm not saying he was standing all the way across the stage, but even Calico was showing a point. Like, I'm not physicality. Like, I'm up, I could rap. And he was completely professional. And there's a reason why, because when I have this type of narrative and energy or things that's going on, whether it happens in that moment or leading in, I could give you some space. And that battle was conducted in a way where y'all wouldn't even know the shit that I'm saying right now unless I put it all, connected all the dots for you guys. You guys wouldn't know that. Go look at the footage. You can be like, yeah, Calico is giving Big K a couple feet this whole time. Is it because he's scared? No. But I got those stories for days. Okay.
Especially coming off of the fallout with URL. And now you're not with it don't look like you rim behind you anymore. It's just all the cards are stacked against you. So you should want to finish the battle, do your best that you can do, so niggas could just say, regardless of what, he went there and killed it.
Mm-hmm. Yo, you know, I got to shout out all the people that actually went to that battle. I got to shout y'all out. Anytime I see people that love hip hop enough to go to a space where nothing but cocks are showing up with no food,
That's a fact.
and just stand for
Hours.
that event started at fucking noon or some shit. Lux was hitting me all day long. Lux was hitting me all day long to come to the watch party. Sorry, Lux. I was doing something. I mean, it looked like he had a great time.
Yeah, shout out to
I
Lux.
saw fucking ASAP. I saw a few niggas go over there. But then what was I saying?
You said trying to people go that's actually going to.
Oh yeah, y'all standing up, no food, no women for hours. Sorry, buddy. I don't.
Y'all got it. Shout out to them once again. When I say the last piece of content that I want to bring up, you know, there's this ongoing narrative about finishing battles. We don't see too often without an actual fight, a battle not complete. I can't tell you the last time I remember it. I'm trying to really put one in my bank right now. Chat, help me out. When was the last battle that didn't complete, yet there was not a fight? You know, when I think back to the 2-on-2, Briz, T-Top, Mook, Cal, that was a fight. It was a punch thrown. I'm gonna give it a second. I could move on, but I'm gonna give it a second. Chat, what's the last time that a battle where there wasn't a fight didn't complete? Okay, there was one. I got to think. All right, so I'm not alone here. Chat, so what was that? Was that from like a dust up between Chess and Rex? Was it? It wasn't no 6 shit or no, right? Was that a dust up? No, Jay. I don't mean. I mean something that happens between two battlers. That was behind the stage, you know, that type of stuff. You know, I'm not talking about like this type of situation. I'm talking about two battlers have a dust up, a disagreement, a scuffle, you know, but it doesn't complete. When's the last time that happened? Cassidy and Diz was a scuffle? Was it a scuffle? I'm trying to remember. All right, people in the chat saying Rex and Chess. Okay, cool. Can't think of one. One of the women battles. But which one? Surf and Bodega. No. Once again, I see people putting Surf and Cortez. I'm not talking about that type of circumstance. I'm talking. There you go. Yeah, Coffee and Hustle. That's an example, right? I think. Or am I thinking about Miami and Hustle? Was that it? Is that it, y'all? Is that it? Shout out to the chat. Y'all are helping me out though. Yeah, Rex and Chet. That's like a spin. Yeah, I got an example for you, ARP, but it's still having the next day. I'm not even trying to take a shot at no shit like that at Cass and Eazy with that. I was just really trying to see. So it seems uncommon. No, this completed same day. We talking about. And there wasn't a dust up when they battled. It wasn't. They had a dust up at a different event. It was the Trap House. And that's why we put the battle on a card called Closure. And when they battled, they had a great professional battle. There was bumping in it that they did. Like Jay Murder started the round with a shoulder check on O-Red, but it was all like in the sport because of their history. You know, so they didn't even have a dust up in their battle. Don't you guys mention no RBE shit. You guys know I know my channel like the best fucking back of my hand. Yeah, you're right about this one right here. I just saw it. Yeah. Gun titles and NWX. Yes. Okay. So it does happen. It does happen. It's very, very infrequent given the amount of times that there are dust ups, but it does happen. It does happen. Okay. Now going back to this footage. This morning when I was putting the stream together, it made me think about from another perspective of the end. You know, because you see Cassidy saying stuff like a boxer, you can't just walk out the ring, you lose. Now there is like kind of unspoken rules to this shit. But a lot of these situations that I think we just put in the chat, you know, also relate, have the league involved, you know, have security guards involved, you know, and it's a mutual thing. When I looked at the end of this footage again, it's very, very instantaneous of a decision that's being made. And I'm not going to say that it's a bad one. You know, let me just play it and then I'll give you more context. This is on the Rap Group website, by the way. This is me. I'm playing it on VOD. I spent my money, y'all. I just want to show y'all. See, I'm on the Rap Group website.
Relax. I'm not gonna touch you. That's how I battle. Don't touch me. Don't touch me, nigga. Don't touch me. Yo, stop playing. Stop playing with me.
Okay, so you got the only 3 people that I recognize, maybe 4, as far as maybe 5. It's 5 now from Eazy side. So this guy right here with the black hat always seemed to be with Eazy side, I believe. Of course, this guy with the white and yellow trucker hat. Obviously, this security guard that's primarily creating a barrier and directing with Eazy. And this person right here, I think, was sitting next to Eazy in his 24/7. I don't know if that's another security guard, unless I'm misplacing his face. But let's say hypothetically 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say hypothetically. Maybe even 5 right here, because the way he's pointing, he must be involved. He must have some personal attachment to things. So maybe 5. Okay. Like when you look at these 2 guys right here, they clearly ain't got nothing to do with nothing. It's like we ain't with Eazy. But it could be those 5 people. Yeah, this guy might. Well, let me keep going. All right, now watch white and yellow trucker hat. He starts to wave towards the exit, like, yo, we out, we out, we out. He doesn't like the way this is all going, and he's making a decision. See that? He's waving like, yo, we out, we out, we out. And now at this point, you also see the security guard, and you see that other 5th person that's still pointing over the crowd, arguing, and Eazy starts to also turn the direction towards leaving. See, at this point, it's they're all moving out. So that is something I don't remember seeing before. Now, let me preface that by saying respectfully, people, if you feel like your safety is in jeopardy, get the fuck out. And that goes for Cass, that goes for Eazy, that goes for the fans, that goes for TBL. I'm not big on hanging around shit that you think is dangerous, man. Let's be mature. Let's be mature. It's not about being tough or a gangster. If this ain't it, this ain't it, right? But as far as the completion of the battle, have we heard from Eazy at this point that what's his mind state here? Did he want to complete the battle? Is he being forced out? Is he telling the people, no, I'm not leaving, but they're pushing him? Is he totally going with the motion, like, yo, fuck that, we out. If we out, we out. You know, because he's the leader of the scenario. What he says goes. If he says stop, when going right back, everybody, let's walk over there, let's finish this fucking battle, then that's what happens. He's the leader, he's the bag, right? But also, you can have a scenario where, you know, it's like the president, right? Like Donald Trump wants to get up with the fist and everything, and his security special services like, nah, nigga, we go. And that would be kind of relevant to a stream that I did prior, where I said the sensitivity also around Eazy is I don't think any security guards want to see him get hit on their watch, because there's already too much of those talks that's tied to his reputation. So if he was to get hit again on camera, it could be an extreme detriment to his image and his career. So it's just like, you ain't get hit on my watch, which ups the sensitivity and ups the reaction. Like, jump in quick. We out. You know? But if I was to give Eazy a second question, because we have that one earlier about, well, since you're putting that pressure on TBL publicly, then what's the question would be, what's the business that you feel is lacking that they would need to create that's different than the first contract? Is it simply that you want to get paid before because you feel like possibly it won't complete, for a third attempt? You might as well at this point, since you're putting so much pressure on TBL. And my second question would be, when that convey of the trucker hat goes like this and security guard or whatever, what is your mind state? Is your mind state like, yo, let's get out of here? Is it, let's just leave the ring and then come back? Or is it like, yo, let's stay, but they didn't listen to me? I wouldn't mind hearing that answer, because, that's a new one for me. And if he just blames the entourage, like, yo, I was lifted off my feet and escorted out. Like, what do you want me to do, ARP? I'm fine with that. I just don't know what happens right there when that decision is being made. It looks like across 2 to 3 people. It almost looked like between trucker hat that starts signaling out, security guard that's pushing Eazy in a certain direction, and of course Eazy as a leader. So I'm curious. And I want that to bleed back into the original or the first question and topic. If you are the primary reason for, ending it there or not completing it, then, I shouldn't say the primary reason. Now that's wrong to say. If you are the one that left first, right? Should you also apply that type of pressure to getting it redone? Because we do hear about the time issues in the venue, but I doubt very highly that TBL would have jumped in and cut those rounds. I'm pretty sure TBL would have did everything in their power to make sure that you guys get in that ring. And even the venue wouldn't have cut the microphones probably. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wouldn't have moved. Y'all would have just stood there and kept rapping. Just like Calico and Ill Will did. We had hotel security come a million times. Say, you can't stand here. We was like, yeah, all right. Keep rapping. Ask around. We was like, you have to call the cops and they got to come cuff us. We ain't going nowhere. We finishing this shit. But curiosities. Shout out to the Joe Button podcast. I see Cassidy is still bombing on Eazy as well. I see Eazy still bombing on his side as well. With his lives, he's applying pressure to the leagues. And since they are both the energy and the algorithm, it's interesting conversation for me. That's it. Supers. Shout out to Don Bean, aka Not Excited, with the new name for it says, oh, we lit another morning live. You on a roll, AR. Yes, but I'm not standing on it being permanent. You know what I'm saying? We all over the place during the day. Jay is here also. They will talk to Vlad because they need money. Trash. That was an earlier topic that we hit. Could it be Farnsworth Bentley? Oh, to do the interview with Vlad where he's talking about the next one's gonna make Diddy hate me forever? I doubt it. Unless he knows that the person is coming and has proof of some serious type of exposure that's going to make people want Diddy to not get out of jail. That's why the way he's talking, because he doesn't know the answers that's going to be given yet. He just knows the guess. That's why my mind goes to like Cassie. It goes to Cassie. She wouldn't need the money out per se. I think it would be tied to her legal lawsuit of her wanting to be speaking out to the public about certain things. That would be heavy. We'll see. He should have eaten the food, then said time. Always, that's when we was talking about dude that was sitting in the interrogation room with the pie of pizza, the burger, the fries, and the soda all in front of him. Crazy. 804 Renee or Rini says, it's funny how Cass was clowning Eazy about not getting out the truck while he was sitting in the truck. Cass didn't get out the truck till Eazy left. I'll go look back over the footage. I'm not sure. I do remember seeing, I thought it was Cass and Knowledge standing on the corner. And then when that black truck across the street pulled off, I heard Cassidy pretty much say like Eazy slogan, like they were mocking him as the truck pulled off. So in that clip right there, Cassidy was standing on the corner that I remember seeing, homie. No bias, just telling you what I saw. Jay also says, can I clip that? Of course. You clip whatever you want, Jay. Shout out to 787 says Eazy actually said there was a capacity issue and he didn't want to put his people in so we did address this earlier. Appreciate that. We did address that. I did respond to that. Goat TV 56 says we need RBE back team. So I appreciate all the we need RBE back. I appreciate all that support, all that love, all that motivation. I'm not a big proponent of it being tied to other platforms or other leagues. Like, let's say hypothetically, even though I'm retired, let's say hypothetically RBE comes back. It wouldn't be because it would be because we're coming back to our supporters and the battle rap culture, and we got some work that we want to do. It would be for that, you know. And on top of that, if you watched some of the early streams as well, I'm very, very supportive of TBL, and I don't think that it's fair that people tear at them after having such a great year. You know, you get to your points where you have mishaps. You learn from them. It happens to the best of the best. Every league, your biggest, your most favorite leagues and league owners have had missteps, mistakes, incompleted battles, things that could have been done differently or better. All of us, you know what I'm saying? So I just want to throw that out there as well. Once again, Don B says, random. Hey, y'all, finally seen Stringer. Oh man, so there you go. You are right. This has been good stuff. So you're in season 3 then. Some people argue that season 3 is the best season. I don't know about that. To me, it's between 3, 4, and 5. Some people even talk crazy about 5, but I don't know why. Season 2 is the one that people say is the lesser. There is no weak seasons. They say that season 2 is the lesser, and I'll tell you why. A lot of people that say that, they were so entrenched in the streets from season 1 where they built up the corners and the pit and everything and the street life of it, that when you now go to the docks and you see this white cast come in and you see the political element come in, like the police chief and the mayor and all that stuff, people just like, but the relevance of that builds up the pieces that's above the street. The street is always like this. It's these motherfuckers that's overseas, like the Pablo Escobars, right? It's the import-export system that brings this stuff in. It's the Greeks or the people that are faceless that put that shit in the corners or sell to the prop Joes or the stringers or the Avons and all that type of the suppliers, right? So you got that element of it. Then you got the element of the other investigation that's big, which is the girls in the cans, right? And a lot of that stuff has all these intertwined connections. Now, this is the second piece that spin into every other season, all other 4 seasons, and you miss a lot of it until you watch it multiple times because the writing is that deep in The Wire. When I watched the second season the first time, I was like, oh, that was cool. On my second, third, fourth time through, you see so much more happening in season 2. It's just like, oh shit. It's a lot of depth in the writing. So it's almost like good rap writing. Like you're gonna get more on replay, you know. As for season 3, you see what that is built around the free zones. More of a political element comes in. Season 4, the school systems come in. It's all these different elements that create these circumstances for people. It's even showing the roots of like the school systems, right? Season 4, school systems, and season 5, the media, right? But still keeping elements from every other season prior. Incredible shit. It's the best piece of television ever. And I won't pull it easy and say SMD. Y'all could kick rocks or go argue with your mother if you disagree. That's as disrespectful as I'll be to y'all randomly. Go argue with your mother if you don't think the wife. That's the final super. I like that being the last super. I love that. I love talking about The Wire, obviously. All right, we out of here. What's today? Today is Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, people. Either tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon we'll be back. Sorry, it's true.
Don't confuse silence with work ethic. I'm a boss, making decisions my first fetish. The verse cherished is perfect, that's a reverse blemish. I dropped it, connected the block, learn Tetris.
This is the Sorry It's True podcast. Welcome to the house of and shout out to the members.